Hey, it's Bippy, and I wanted to do another quick video during a cigarette break. Cancer. About another thing that people with personality disorders tend to do. And it's called splitting. So things are either all good or all bad, and either you are either all good or all bad. They are basically not able to say, okay, this is a good person who has this one really annoying habit that kind of drives me crazy. So you're either, and not all of them do it. This is actually something that narcissists don't tend to do as much as like histrionic or borderline personality disorder, but it can be crazy making and really, really frustrating, especially if you didn't grow up with it and you're not used to it, to suddenly go from you are the best person on earth to you are the devil incarnate, and then back again in like 2 weeks, and as far as you can tell, for no discernible reason. And basically, for a lot of people with personality disorders, their emotions are their facts. It's just how it works. So if you don't have a personality disorder, you have facts, and then you form opinions and emotional response off of that. It's the other way around for these people. So and teenage girls do this. It's a normal stage that they go through. I used to tell my daughter all the time that you're going to hit puberty and your emotions are going to go from a reliable feedback mechanism for what's going on in the world around you, and then all of a sudden it's going to be propaganda. You're going to be mad, your friend's going to walk in the room, and you're going to decide that she did something to make you mad, and then you will find something. you will figure something out to be mad at her about. And this can be really, really damaging to relationships and friendships because she didn't actually do anything. You just happened to be mad and she walked in the room. So if you have somebody who, you know, has some, like, you know, with teenage girls, the reason that they start doing this is, you know, puberty. You have some pretty strong brain-melting hormones spiking and doing weird things. Teenage boys too, like the anger stuff is usually testosterone, because you actually get big surges of testosterone as a girl going through puberty. Not as big as the boys do, obviously, but they're there. And that's going to increase aggressive behavior, blah, blah, blah. So let's say you have a personality disordered adult that you're dealing with, like your mother, your mother-in-law, and they have some kind of chemical imbalance that causes mood swings. Well, they don't take that step back and go, okay, my emotions are dicking with me a little bit. I'm crying at pictures of cats on the internet. Maybe, I'm not in the most emotionally stable place and I need to logic this out. So if they're feeling sad or abandoned or whatever, then that is their reality. That is exactly what's going on. It doesn't matter if you spent 18 of the last 24 hours helping them with something. If they're feeling abandoned, you are not taking care of them. Like, reality has nothing to do with this. It's a completely emotional reaction, and it tends to be exaggerated in people who do the all bad or all good. So you're either a friend and somebody who loves them and cares them and supports them, or you're a bastard that doesn't love them at all. And if they start doing this in the middle of an argument when emotions are high, it leads to these batshit insane arguments. Like, it has actually been described by psychologists as crazy making behaviors because it makes you just want to put your head through a freaking brick wall. And that's another thing I need to make another video about circular arguments where it just goes around and around and around and around, and no progress is ever made because they don't actually care about understanding your point of view. They want the point, they want the win, and they will never acknowledge your point of view or anything that you say. So how do you handle this? How do you manage a relationship with someone who does this? Everything is black or white, all good, all evil. There is no gray area. There's no positive person with a couple of negative traits or negative person with a couple of positive traits. These are the people who are like, well, you know, Uncle so-and-so helped me out with my rent, so he couldn't possibly be a bad person, even though he's molested my kids. Or, you know, on the flip side, like, yeah, you know, you've paid all of my medical bills for the last 2 years, you're helping pay my rent, you're my adult child, and you're spending half of your income supporting me, but you didn't call me one day when I didn't call you, and you didn't make me feel loved, so obviously you're a piece of shit who hates me. Like, oh, it just makes you crazy. It's so crazy. And I can't tell you how to deal with this one, because this is one where I just check out. I'm like, I'm out of here. I can't handle this one. This is, you know, the only way I know to handle this is to put distance between myself and the person who does this. But I figured it would be helpful for some people to know that this is a well-known, well-established, disordered thought pattern. Lots of people do this. It's about, I think, if I recall correctly, it's something like 2% of the population is prone to this particular dysfunction. So if you have somebody like this in your life and they are driving you crazy and you think it's you or there's something wrong with you, just know you're not alone, you know? That's all I can tell you is it's a thing. You might want to Google it and see what tips and techniques there are for handling somebody who splits like that. It can be really, really super hurtful, especially if you're in, like I said, the good kid position where you're doing everything you can to help out your parent, and then, you know, you put mayonnaise on a sandwich and they don't like mayonnaise, and all of a sudden you're a horrible piece of shit who doesn't love them, and they start ripping into you. Like, it's awful. It's awful to deal with, and all I can do is sort of extend my condolences and my sympathy and let you know that it's not you and you're not alone in dealing with this. So I hope somebody finds that helpful.